Global Navigation Satellite System. In the previous class, we have successfully completed our first chapter without any topic remaining. All the topics we have covered mostly. So now in today's class, I'm going to start our next chapter, Unit 2, that is about your signal generation of your GPS. So how your GPS signal can be generated. So for that one, what are the codes that you require? What is the modulation technique that you require for this one? Okay, what will be the frequency? Everything that will be seen here in the second chapter. Along with that one, we are also going to see the errors that will be occurring in your GPS system. Like whenever you are going for the application or the communication system of GPS, what are the different kinds of errors that will be occurring? Like it might be your atmospheric errors or any other different kinds of errors, like artificial errors. So what are the kinds of errors? How we are going to mitigate that particular errors can be seen in this chapter. Fine. So we just have a look on the syllabus that we are going to cover in the second chapter of your GNSS. So second unit consists of, as I have said, GPS signal structure, which is having the GPS signal. Then we are going to see the codes that are used for that one. What are the different kinds of codes that are required to transmit the data? Fine. Then how your signal can be generated and what are the spoofing effects of that. Then in the second part of your unit 2, you will be seeing the errors or the source of errors that are in your GPS. Like you will be having satellite and receiver clock errors. Then you will be having atmospheric errors as the receiver measurement noise and UERE that I have discussed slightly about UERE in your first chapter. I hope you all remember that one. And you'll also be having the emphasis error. So we'll see the two parts. One is signal generation of your GPS. What is the signal structure? Then the second part is about your errors or the errors that will be occurring in your GPS. So let's move on to the first topic, that is signal structure of your GPS or GPS signal generation. So what actually is a GPS signal? So the signal of the GPS is consisting of the three components basically, and that three components are your carrier, that is a carrier signal. Of course, everyone knows in the modulation you compulsorily require a carrier signal. Then you will be having a navigation message. Then you will be having a pseudo random code or the PRN code. These are the three basic components or the GPS signal is comprising of. What are the three things that it is comprising of? One is a carrier signal, second one is your navigation message that is going to get or received by the receiver, like where is the exact position and all, and you will be having the code. What actually code is present in that, correct? So once you remember what is modulation, actually you are combining when you go to the communication part, either a DC or AC. In that modulation, you require carrier as well as your message signal. Has to transmit that message signal or the data in that one. We are using carrier signal as to transmit your data to take that message signal from transmitter to the receiver, because your message signal is not of that high frequency. So we require a higher frequency component, and that higher frequency component is your carrier. Here, as you are going to calculate the navigation, it means you are going to calculate the exact position of the user, right? And the information is also present over here. So the GPS signal should be comprising of these three elements. One is the carrier signal, of course, which is used to take your message or the data from the transmitter to the receiver. Second one you are having is navigation message, exact the location you have to find out with accurate time and accuracy. And third comes to the PRN codes or the pseudo random codes, which gives you the data. So we'll discuss one by one. Very first one is your carrier signal. So the GPS satellite transmits the signal on two frequencies. What are the two frequencies? They are nothing but L1 and L2. These are the two frequencies on which your GPS satellite or the GPS satellite signals will be transmitted. So these frequencies are represented in the ultra high band frequencies. So mostly we use the microwave frequency also, we can say that. So the GPS satellites will be using the frequency which are present in your ultra high band, and they are combined by the fundamental frequency, and that fundamental frequency is given as F0, and these two L1 and L2 transmitting frequency can be obtained by multiplying these F0 value with the L1 and L2 value. So these are the basic values that are always will be the same. Okay. So L1 and L2 are the two frequencies that are multiplied by the fundamental frequency F0, and the fundamental frequency F0 value is 10.23 megahertz. This is a reference I have taken from the book Mishra. Okay, he has written in the year 2001. So I have given the references over here also. So they are obtained from the fundamental frequency. What we are going to obtain, the two frequencies which are referred for this one, and these two frequencies are L1 and L2 frequencies. So L1 value is 154 into the fundamental frequency, or the product of 154 into fundamental frequency, that is F1. And what is the value of F0? 10.23 megahertz. So overall, the complete value, if you calculate, then you will be getting L1 is equals to 1575.42 megahertz. This is the L1 frequency. Then comes to the L2 frequency, it is 120 into fundamental frequency, then it overall comes as 1227.60 megahertz. So on these two frequencies, your GPS signal will be working. Means the carriers that you require to take the data, because you require the carrier, no, a high frequency component. That high frequency component is your is given as two signal frequencies, or the two frequencies that are referred for your GPS satellite. So L1 is 1575.42 megahertz and L2 is 1227.60 megahertz. So this was about your carrier of your GPS signal. The GPS satellite transmits the signals on two frequencies, L1 and L2, with values of 1575 and 1227 megahertz. Now next one comes your navigation message. What actually navigation message? It contains the information regarding satellite constellation which is generated by MCS and uploaded to all the satellites through ground antenna. So what is MCS? Master Control Station. So we have seen the architecture of your GPS, which is consisting of 3 segments. Yes, I hope you all remember. User segment, control segment. In that one, in your user segment, there you will be having your master control station, which means you will be requiring 4 satellites and you will be having a ground antenna. Okay. So here in the navigation message, it contains the information regarding the satellite constellation which is generated by your MCS, that is your master control station, and they are uploaded to all the satellites by using your ground antenna. So how actually the working will be there? I'll show that one once. I'm not getting that exact page. I'll just show you the GPS system segment that you'll be having. Space segment means the satellite which is there in the space. And comes to the control segment, here you will be having the ground antenna as well as your master control station, so that the master control station will be getting all the information of your satellite constellation. In case of anything like a body of your satellite, or is there any information, or the health of your satellite is varying, or something it is happening, that is all given to the ground antenna, and from ground antenna your all over the information is given to your space segment, and the user segment is the one, the receiver, which will be getting all the information. So here in this control segment only we will be getting our your MCS, master control station, right? So here in the master control, in this navigation message, it contains the information regarding the satellite constellation which is generated by your MCS, that is your master control station, and are uploaded to all the satellites through the ground antenna. Okay, I will give the link of that particular class. You'll just go through with that. Okay, this is the second one, navigation message. Means so overall satellites, how they are working, what is the health of all the satellites, and which time they require, if they require any anything that has to be updated or something. That is all done by using your with this navigation method. Then third comes to your PRN port. PRN port is third one, which is very important. Each satellite are pseudo-random ports. Okay, PRN ports are nothing but your pseudo-random ports. So each satellite has a unique pseudo-random sequence or a pseudo-random port. One is, in this one also we are having two different ports of PRN ports. One is port or acquisition port. Okay, which is sequence of your 1023 chips, means 1000 23 chips. This code is having chip rate of 1.023 megahertz per period of 1 millisecond. Okay, means how much? What is the sequence of the C by A code? It is called as a chorus or acquisition code. So these will be having a sequence of, means how many chip area, like how many bits you can store are 1023 chips, and these code will be having a chip rate of 1.23 megahertz with a period of 1 millisecond. In 1 millisecond, it can use this much of frequency. And the other code is your precision code. That is either C by A code or P of Y code is given. So P of Y is nothing but your precision code. So two codes will be having in your PRN codes. One is chorus or acquisition code, melodic or C by A code, and the P codes. Okay. So these are denoted by the word P of Y code, and it is encrypted into the Y code. So it is very long coding containing of 6.187 into 10 to the power of 12 bits. So what is the bit over here? Here the chip size is of 1023, in which one C by A code. Whereas your P of Y code, it will be having a long code that will be containing of your 6.187 into 10 to the power of 12 bits. So it is transmitted at the rate of 10.23 megahertz. And what is the transmission rate or the chip rate for this C by A code? It is 1.023 megahertz. So the C by A code is the only modulator onto L1 carrier, and it is for civilian use, while P of Y code is modulated on both L1 and L2 frequencies, and it is mostly used for military purpose. Okay. So these PRN codes, because we are using this GPS system completely for two uses. One is for military and one is for civilian use. So when if you are going for the normal civilian use, okay, just for the tracking and all, some simple uses or simple applications, we'll be using a C by A code, which is only modulated, or the modulation done in by only N1 frequency, L1. Okay, L1 carrier. That is only for the civilian. Then if you are going for the military purpose, so in this PRN code, we will be using the second code, that is your precision code or a P of Y code, which is can be modulated on two carriers, both L1 and L2, and mostly these are used for the military purpose. Okay, so these are the three codes, the signal structure of GPS components. So three components which we will be having in GPS signal. One is carrier. In that carrier, two frequencies are referred, L1 and L2, and that frequency I have noted down here. Second, you will be having the navigation message, means it will be giving the overall message or the overall information regarding your satellite constellation that is generated by your master control station, and that are all uploaded by using your ground access. Then third, you are having PRN codes. These PRN codes are of two types, in the means that will be having two types. One is chorus or acquisition, C by A code. Second one is precision code, P of Y. When you are using for the normal civilian purpose, we will be using this L1 frequency or the C by A codes. Which these both are the combination. When you are going for the military purpose and all, L1 and L2 both carrier frequency are used with a combination of P by P of Y code, because P of Y code are very long code which will be having 6.187 into 10 to the power of 12 bits. When it comes to C by A code, its bit chip rate is of 1023 chips. So it depends upon the particular application. Now in the next topic, we will see how GPS signal is generated. How you are going to generate this GPS signal, and what is the modulation technique you are using. So what are the different kinds of modulation techniques that are used in digital communication? I hope you all remember. What are the 3 or 4 you will be having? Amplitude shift keying, phase shift keying, and frequency shift. When it comes to the phase shift keying, we will be having again BPSK, okay, DPSK, QPSK, quadrature phase shift keying, or the binary phase shift keying, and all. So because we are all using this digital communication, it is all the data we are using digitalized. So we are using digital communication modulation technique. So in that one, for the GPS signal generation, the modulation technique which is used for the modulation or the combination of your message and the carrier and the navigation data is your binary phase shift keying. Okay, the modulation technique which is used is BPSK. So I'll just tell how you are going to generate your GPS signal activity. So here what you are having, carriers, two carriers L1 and L2, plus you have to combine C by A and P of Y codes, plus you have to use the modulation technique. Okay, one is carrier, then navigation data, then PRN codes. These three should be there for generation of your GPS signal, because these are the three basic components that are present in your GPS signal, right? So let's just see. The figure is there down. First, I'll just give the description of that one. So first, the clock signal has a frequency of, what is the clock required signal frequency? That is 10.23 megahertz. First one I have discussed here. This is your fundamental frequency. So the clock frequency should be of 10.23 megahertz. That is the first basic thing, and that is multiplied with 154 and 120. These are the L1 and L2 frequencies, as to generate L1 and L2 carrier frequencies respectively. I'll repeat it once again. The clock signal has a frequency of 10.23 megahertz, and they are multiplied with 154 and 123 megahertz as to generate L1 and L2 carrier frequency. First part we have generated, right? This one, carrier you have generated. Now you have to go for the navigation message and PRN. So the C by A code or the chorus or acquisition code modulo 2 is added with navigation data, and the P of Y code is modulo 2 added with the navigation data respectively. Now what we have to do? We have to do the modulo 2 addition on C by A codes, and that data has to be added with your navigation data. Similarly, for the precision codes also you have to do the modulo 2 addition has to be added with the navigation data. Now these signals are supplied to the modulators for L1 frequency, and the signals are modulated onto the carrier by using the modulation technique called as binary phase shift technique. The method where the phase of the carrier is instantaneously phase shifted by 180 degrees with respect to your message. So when a navigation data will stream up, correct? Message signal is nothing but your navigation data. So the two codes are modulated in phase and in quadrature with each other on L1. This was the first carrier frequency. I'll repeat it once again. Just go to it clearly. First, we are going to generate a carrier signal and the clock signal which we are using, that is of 10.23 megahertz. To that one, we have to multiply 154 and 120 megahertz of frequency as to generate your L1 and L2. Not here megahertz. This is 154, 120. To this multiplied to 10.23 megahertz. So you will be getting 1547.23 megahertz and 120 127 something megahertz of frequencies. Then as to get this pseudo random code, that are two types, C by A code and navigate precision codes. So for C by A code, whatever you have given, okay, to that what you have to do, modulo 2 is to be added with the navigation data, whatever data you are going to give or whatever information you are going to send or something, to that modulate navigation data, plus P of Y precision code is also modulo 2 added with the navigation data. Now what you have to do, you have to do modulation. So for this modulation uses binary phase shift technique. Means what is actually phase shift technique? Your carrier is varied in your phase of the carrier is varied in accordance with the message signal. What is the message signal here? The navigation data what you are transmitting. So your method is your phase of the carrier is instantaneously varied at the 180 degrees of phase with the navigation data that is been transmitting or the data which is being uttered. So these two codes are modulated in phase and in quadrature with the L1 frequency. So I will be showing here how actually your GPS transmitter is being used. L1 and L2, these are two your carrier frequencies. This figure is very important. Then you will be having a C by A code and P code. These two are your precision code, means pseudo random. Three components we require as to generate a signal, GPS, and this is your navigation data, the data which you are going to transmit. So here what you are doing, the first one is L1. This has been added. Okay. Now you have to see again this is given to the phase shift, because when you are going for the modulation, of course there will be some phase shift. Again the data is been transmitted. This is a C by A code with the modulo 2 addition. This L1 is given here. Modulo 2 addition is done and it is added over here, L1 and C by A. Then at the precision also same, L1 you are doing the same thing, you are adding it up. Okay, now after that 90 degrees phase shift is done to this L1 and that is given to one more L2 carrier frequency, and these are the P codes or the precision codes that will be added over here. Now from P by A code along with the navigation data and the carrier L1 is given over here. This P code along with the carrier frequency L2 as well as the navigation signal, these are again added over here. And this overall combination will be given to the transmitter, and this is how you will be transmitting the navigation data or the exact data to the receiver. So this is how your signal generation of your GPS will be working. So the signal generated from the satellite, any satellite K, this signal generated from the satellite A can be described by the formula Sk of t is equal to under root of 2pc into ck of t modulo 2 of dk of t into sin 2 pi fl1 into t plus pi l1 is the first carrier frequency. Again you will be considering the modulation of that one for the second carrier frequency. Okay, so what are these components? PC, PL1, PL2 are the powers of the signal with C by A 4 on L1. Okay, then P of Y 4 on L1. What we are doing, we are using this pseudo-random code, or these codes are multiplied with the carrier frequency F1 and F2 respectively. So this PC nothing but C by A 4 on L1, and L2 PL2 is nothing but C by A 4 or the precision 4 on your L2 sequence. Okay, CK of T is the C by A 4 sequence assigned to the satellite number K. If you are having constellation of some 24 satellites, we are getting some number of values. In that one, for the K satellite, what is the C by A code sequence we are considering? So CK of T is C by A code sequence, which is assigned for the satellite K. PK of T is the precision code sequence assigned to the satellite K, and DK of T is the navigation data sequence. What are the data you are going to give the navigator? You have found out the exact position of that. FL1 and FL2 are the carrier. Of course, they are the carrier frequencies corresponding to the L1 and L2. Okay, so the data and the modulo 2 data, signal data, and the carrier and your pseudo-random signal is given. It will be very clear over here. The first one is your carrier. Okay, you can also say C by A code or a normal code, what you are going to transmit. Then this is the navigation data. Then modulo 2 data. So to this one we are doing the modulo 2 addition. So it is first C by A code. Okay, then is the navigation data. Then the modulo 2 data, we are doing the modulo 2 of data. Then we are adding the carrier frequency to this one. Okay, to the carrier frequency you have to do modulate. What is the modulation? Binary phase shifting. The binary data, when you are having S trigger, whenever it is changing from 0 to 1, then you have to your phase should be changed to 180 degrees. So here your phase is going to be changed. Correct? Three things are there. One is the carrier, second one is navigation data, and third are the pseudo-random. For getting the pseudo-random code, we are doing the modulo 2 addition of data. So this is your first carrier, your carrier frequency. This is the modulo 2 code that you had here, and this is the navigation data, all this combination, and you are using the phase shifting, binary phase shifting for getting the original carrier. I hope you are clear with this by code, P code, and what is the modulation technique that we have to use. Fine. So I'll just give you overall summary of the requirement of the GPS signal. The fundamental frequency F0 is given. The fundamental frequency F0, which is very initial one, that is 10.23 MHz. Then you will be having a carrier frequency, two carrier frequency components L1 and L2. For getting L1, this fundamental frequency has to be multiplied with 154 into F0, that is 1575.42 MHz. Then a carrier L2 will be multiplied with 120 f0, that is 1227.6 megahertz. Then you will be having pseudo random codes. In that one you are having two types, P codes, precision codes. So this is the longer range, longer bit code. So f0 here is 10.23 megahertz, the frequency for that one, and the frequency of C by A codes is less than 10 times less than that of your P codes, because mostly the C by A codes are used for the civilian purpose. When it comes to the military purpose, we are going the P codes. And the last one is your navigation message. The frequency for that one will be of 15 into 10 to the power of minus 6 megahertz. So this is the basic components, the three components that you require. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So these are the three basic components that you require for the generation of your GPS signal. So I'll stop the class today here itself. So in case of any doubts, please let me know. I hope you are clear with the GPS signal structure completely, the block diagram of your GPS transmitter, what is the equation, and your waveforms, how you will be getting this one. In the next class, I'll tell about the navigation message format, how actually the message will be there, how many number of frames that will be occurring over there, and how your CPA code or the precision codes data format will be there, or what are the number of frames in that one, how many bits can be given, and how much time it requires. That will discussed in the next class. So till the time, please note it down, this notes of this particular topic. In case of any doubts, please do let me know. Practice very well, because time is rolling out and your exams are on head. So I think May 7th or mid of May will be the last working day for you people. So we have to hurry. So please do watch all the videos, listen to the classes properly, do practice, because the subject which you have chosen, GNSS, is a bit tough, but inshallah we'll do well. Okay, we'll work hard for that one also. In case of any doubts, please do let me know. We'll wind up the class here itself. Thank you.